Hello and welcome back everyone to part 20 of the D7 Battle Cruisers. We're about to start prepping everything to get it ready for a clear coat, getting any touch-ups done and anything that needs to get done before we put the clear coat so we can start doing the decal work. So let's get started. Okay, here we are with the Romulan D7. I just went and masked the whole ship. After lightly painting, and this is Jack. He's in lovey-dovey mode. After going through and painting the edges where I filed, and I did the Tamiya surface primer to fill in the gaps, which worked great, by the way. I highly recommend the, he wants to rub against it, the surface primer. I'm interested in trying it as a spraying. I know how it's in the can works, so hopefully this works just as good. But I was touching up areas here and it was getting lumpy, and I was touching up areas here. Oh, yeah, you gotta come down. You're too lovey-dovey while I'm on the camera. But it was lumpy in certain spots where filing actually chipped a lot of paint up instead of, paint and primer, so it had a pretty good dip. So I went through and touched it up as much as I could with the brush to get it to build up, then laid it clear and then sanded it, and then I taped everything off and just did a whole airbrush where it smoothed everything out. So it's looking really good. All the seam work looks good. Like I said, all the green is, I believe, to be done. I might, there's a hair or something there, I might sand that out. The back looks all good. So, no, you can't get up on there, you're making the camera wiggle. This is what we got today. I need to move this up a hair too, because I'm getting out of view here. But yeah, all the back half looks really good. Came out really nice with the blends between the green and the gray. It's so nice to. There's just hair. That might actually be a hair I have to sand out before I clear, or another clear. Most of them are just sticking to me now because I have a hairy creature right next to me, sitting next to me. But I like how these are defined now. You can finally see those. So we'll take the rest of these masks off and see what she looks like, and then we'll get a clear on her. Sand anything we need to sand. Make sure there's no hair, but there's always hair from you guys. Goodness, stuff really wants to stick on. It's finding which way it twisted around. And hopefully I didn't get any overspray, just spraying right over. I didn't even have to mask, or I didn't even mask the back. I didn't get any overspray. I just hit areas I knew I had to hit in directions that would, without any way, not send gray paint towards green. Yeah, that was probably a mistake with the blue tape. Oh, there it goes. There we go. Hopefully we didn't make an edge where I have the two grays blend. No, that worked out good. That worked out really good. Hope I can get this in one shot. Yeah. That looks good. Silver's still there and protected. The nice thing about do the same to this side. About painting everything is those edges are softer. Just something soft. Oh, took a little bit of a gun steel off there. That's alright. Oh, in there too. It's the only thing. You don't know what it's going to pull up. Just not, I might not have scuffed that area good enough. There we go. Other than that, those are easy fixes. That she looks great. I said there's some. I think I just threw that one away, and it's still good sandpaper, especially for little touch-ups. With the sandpaper, I'm trying not to mix and match. A lot of these hairs are just in the clear. And I'm going to hit it with another clear coat. So I can go through and hit any, like, any bumps too. And just quickly go by and get rid of. So when the clear goes down, it lays flat. Yeah, it's starting to wear out, this piece of paper. Go through and hit it with another coat of clear. And it's getting a little bit of a dirt from it. Sitting on tables. There it goes. But yeah, I'm trying to keep the sandpapers different. Use, you know, green sandpaper on green. And hit that up with a little bit of green. The green seems to be, and a lot of it is like when I brushed the gray on, it didn't blend in with what was sprayed, and it's kind of weird. And then I tried to blend it, and it just wouldn't blend right, so I just had to airbrush the whole top over again. And plus, there's areas I wanted a lot smoother. And you just have to, when you live with two cats, you're gonna have to live with having a little bit of hair in your product. There's no way around it. I've tried everything. You know, besides being mean and keeping them out of the studio, and that's just not me. I like having them around. So, but the nice thing is with this, you can hit it with sandpaper and where's that one here that's bothering me because it's on top? Right there. Piece of paper that's not worn. Yeah, I hear the difference. There it goes. if I use, I can see it really clear. That means it's in the clear. And with these acrylics and you having to seal everything, I could use a sanding down this anyway. There's one there too. And those are just going to be, they're in an area that can be seen, and I can get rid of them. Or even sometimes you can just minimize the appearance of it and get rid of some of it. Sand that clear a little more. I'm seeing some little cracking from when the finish is, you know, because the acrylic's such a dry finish, and then you put a when you put a light clear over it, the heavy, you know, I don't remember if it's when you do a light or heavy. I think when you do a heavy, it makes it break into little clumps, but this is not bad. So there's another little piece of dirt here. And I know I have plenty of green there to get rid of it. So there we go. Alright, what do we got to do? We got to touch up the nacelle ends where the tape delammed it. And then we'll give it another full-on clear coat. And we can start decaling. So we got two spots on this one, the outside and the inside top. I got the inside top and outside towards the bottom, but they're in easy areas. And that paint's a little different than the green that's underneath it, and it can have that issue. I should have scuffed it with 320, and then we probably would have been good. But I'm just going to touch those spots up. That's not a big deal. Then we'll hit it with another clear. Next time I come back, it's base, and it's putting on the base. See, that was just a hair laying there and gave an effect of a run or a sag. But boy, I'm glad those joints came up really nice. The rear end came out really nice. This is really going to look nice. Really happy with it. The other one, I still got to do all the filing, but there was not much filing of this top piece at all. Because this is all the top. There's not much filing into that at all. There's not much filing on these edges. That one's going to go together as far as getting to this stage. Now I hope I don't have to spray its top, because I already painted those silver parts. But if I have to do them again, I'll do them again. It's no biggie. It's quick. You learn and you live and learn. Sometimes I should hold off on some of the detail, but you want to see something big happen. And I should scuff some of these little lumps on the top here before the next clear coat. Especially that one there bothered me because it's actually a piece of dirt that I can see. Nothing major, but that's all I have to do. Yeah, see, they're gone. I used to get all anxious and start going after the dirt right away. If I catch it and I only sprayed like a light little bit, I'll just let it dry. And especially dealing with the cat hair, I'll just let it dry. And then come back in after it. Because usually you can pop it out then, you know, if it's still dry, not as wet. Like you didn't get a coat over it. Like if you do a coat and then you see it and it lands on it. Sometimes you can just get a pair of tweezers and grab it, or some number 11 knife and cut it up. But if it's already down there, it's not too bad. You can stop, wait, and then sand it, and then redo your clears, especially if it's in the clears. But yeah, one last little light coat. Yeah, there was little lumps on there that I wanted to get rid of. Some were dirt, some was because I did hand paint this, and it does come out pretty settled, but not as still nothing is as flat as like that. So I'm kind of glad I did that because I did brush those, and airbrushing all this really blends it into the side here. Yeah, that blended in good where that and that matches. So, but yeah, the base too. Base is going to be simple. It's black, so I'm just going to give it a sprinkle of the Katinga, my big 350 Katinga. I just sprayed it with a little silver, a little mist, so it gives it that metallic-y, kind of lumpy metallic-y, hand-hammered like metallic look. And this, I'm not sure what logos. I might use the old decals from the old kit, which is the Romulan kit, and put on the at least the Klingon silvers, the symbols on both sides. And the Romulan one, unless I can't remember if I have like extra Romulan symbols I can put on there. I got to see what he gives, if he has any extra stuff when I get stuff from JT. Yeah, I'm not sure. It might be pretty plain. I'll have to come up with a little different color scheme for the speckly of the Romulan. Trying to think what would I could do this one in more of a coppery color splatter and do the other one in or maybe I'll do the Romulan because the Klingon already has that. I already have a Klingon ship with that metallic-y splatter base, which is something I can use on whatever. But it's kind of nice to keep some type of theme. So maybe I'll use like a copper splatter on the Klingon or the Romulans. Or should I do a copper and then a gold or the brass? Antique brass. This one would look good in a copper. That would look good in a silver because of the more chrome on that. And these I gotta do too. I gotta paint those a gold. I think I'm gonna do the antique or the antique brass. It looks like a gold, but not as goldy. I think that's what they are. I don't think they're a coppery color. I have to look to see exactly what those knows that's. I think they're more in the gold, yellow. But she's getting there. As far as the base, I just gotta cut the switch in and cut the jack in, the 2.1 millimeter jack in, which is easy because that's just drill a hole. So I need to find switches that are round, and then once they're roughed in, then spray it, and then the post has got to go up. I have the decals for this, so she's almost done. The other one's gonna, like I said, sit. But I want to at least get it to where it's in this stage, and I'm going to clear coat it to let it sit until the decals come in. I can still at least turn it on and stuff. I might not, solder the wires to the base switch, because I'm going to want to pull that whole thing off to put the decal on, the big decal bird that goes underneath here on the other one. But yeah, I can show you the other one. The top's all glued down and it's looking good. I might go ahead and just spray some of these areas anyway. But Maybe we'll go over that again. It's easy. But yeah, have a little, there's always the good filing part. That's that edge. This side's not so bad. Like right here, it's actually almost perfect. Just seal it. But here it actually is open. And no, it's more just open. But it doesn't squeeze. It's pretty well glued in there. I'm going to put some extra glue. I didn't do the extra thin Tamiya on this kit yet, I don't think. Run that all around and make sure all this is sealed. The back looks really good. Those are really close to being correct in those parts. This only flares out a little bit. It's not horrible. Got, not like the other one, and a little bit here on this edge. But the other kit was pretty good on the back too. But it was pretty much, gauging it between the front and the back, and I would have to make sure I pushed this in because this would want to be off. So, but we do have a lip from the bottom half. Everything else is the tops out. But this I have a little bit in the bottom, but I found that filed really easy, even here. And then using the Tamiya surface primer worked great. I mean, worked great. I used the white on that. I'll probably use the gray on this one since it is gray. I used the white on that because the green would cover it better. But yeah, I'll use this stuff was a lifesaver. So much better in putty, and it's flexible. It's more flexible because it's a paint primer, so it kind of moves. So if there is like a little movement still left, especially in these wing where pylon to nacelle area, this part right here, because this can want to flex. Although those are pretty stiff now with the tops on. But even here, it filled that little seam up perfect, and you can, and it's cleaner. It's not as messy because you can just brush it on. Let it dry and brush it on. It seeps in, and yeah, I'm hoping the chances for it to crack are going to be more minimum. But that's where she is. Like I said, there's not much here. This is really nice. This on the one side, it was way out. I had to file a lot on the one edge, and the other edge was fine. But this is nice on both, and that's just probably the way this moved. So, but no, that's looking good. That's all she needs, and then she's gonna sit for a bit until her decals come, and then I can drill the holes up in this section. I don't know if I'm just gonna keep it simple like this one, where I just did the 5 on each side, or do I want to do some like this one? I just did the 5 there and the 5 there, or do I want to do some more in the center part? But I think that works. This one I did less lighting because I went with the white holes in the decal, and it was only a few white holes in the decal on the sides. These 3, of course, but compared to this one has all 6 of them instead of the 3. So it's looking good. But alright, I'm going to call that a night. Like I said, I'm just going to touch that up and maybe throw a clear on there and let it sit overnight. And then that way it's ready for me tomorrow. But that looks really good. So much better. Yeah, I'm really liking this ship. It was always one of my favorite from the original series. In this color scheme. The green and the gray. It's just pretty sharp. And to have the Romulan one with the little differences in it, it's going to be nice. I still like to get a 350. I think I saw one. It wasn't terribly priced neither. I mean, for a resin kit. But what I'm seeing with the resin kits, they don't give you very much options to light them. I mean, you could run wires up through a metal tube in the bowl, but I think it's pretty much solid except for the metal tube. And then there's like a half a bowl here, and then there's thick, and so how you drill all the holes here, and to get the holes up for that. Then these are kind of solid, you know, and this is almost all solid. And definitely wouldn't be able to light these unless you actually physically cut them out. But that would be okay if you wanted to go completely Canon, because they don't light in Canon. But it'd be nice to have one that's this big. But this 1/650 works for me. It shows the detail off enough, and it's a nice size to put on a shelf. So, but all right, like I said again, I'm just rambling. So next time we come back, we'll probably be working on the base, and then we'll decal it. So until then, thanks for watching.